like, Josh, you've had the biggest reform on YouTube I think I've ever seen.
I think I'd gotten to a point where the videos we were making people didn't really want to see anymore, and it was time for something new. I didn't know what that was going to be. With the Katie Hopkins videos, I got a few death threats.
Josh and I sat next to her and just had to pretend to be racist for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad?
No. This is what we're doing, what Zach and Jay and what any of these guys are doing. It's not new. It's been done on mainstream TV for decades.
We could have a boxing match at one point, weren't we?
Yeah.
Still up for it?
The videos that like Josh, Joe and Casper were doing, because as the sort of policeman of the internet, was there any of that you thought was good?
No, I thought it was all shit.
That hotel had to be booked, the dinner had to be booked, her flights, her fee, everything had to be done.
How much do you think you spent on that? Would you still do it if you made a loss?
I did make a loss.
You made a loss on it?
Yeah.
Hey Siri, define nonce.
Hello guys and welcome back to Jackmate's Happy Hour. I'm here with Stevie. Why?
You haven't said that in ages.
Felt up for it.
That's lovely.
I'm a bit deflated at the moment.
Why?
Dunno, just life dragging me down, man.
Cheer up.
Yeah, Jordan.
You right?
Yeah, that's a bit Piers Morgan, that.
What?
Well, I said I'm sad, you said cheer up. Well, you telling me to man up next, weren't you?
Carry on. We've got guests.
Yeah, we have got guests. We've got Josh Pieters.
Hello.
And Archie.
Hello.
Is it Archie Manners?
Yeah, it is. So he's got the guest surname right in one. Well done, buddy. Really loving the preparation that went into that.
I know you said we need to lean in, but with your voice, you'd probably be okay just sitting in the back.
We're sharing a mic. Can you hear me if I like that?
Yeah,
as long as you project,
That's
you'll be
more than
fine.
loud enough for
I'll just
you.
project from the background.
You two are kind of like a duo now, aren't you?
God, it's gagged on your water there. Archie.
Right answer. 10 points.
Is it Facebook official? What's new? How you boys have been up to a load of stuff, and we're firmly going to get to that. Like Josh, you've had the biggest reform on YouTube I think I've ever seen. At the time of recording, your recent project was the banger with Katie Hopkins.
Yeah.
She tweeted about that, didn't she?
She tweeted about it, I saw like 3 or 4 days ago, but then she's deleted her tweets, I saw. Which was interesting, so...
Spicy.
Yeah.
Well, we will get to that later on in the show. I want to ask, first of all, how did you two meet? Like, what's the partnership here? Like,
You know a guy called Mikey Pierce?
I do indeed.
So Mikey Pierce, for people who don't know Mikey Pierce, is one of the most incredible comic creations of Conor Maynard's. He's a guy who comes from Brighton. He sounds like me, and he's just amazingly funny, but doesn't realise he's funny.
He's actually a lot like you.
He's a lot like me, just like he's like me after a severe operation that hasn't worked. He's like, do you know what I mean? He'll forgive me for that. But like, anyway, I used to do these videos called Archie Asks, which you won't have heard of because no one's ever watched them.
I binge watched them the other night.
Well, that's very kind.
Wimbledon, fashion stuff.
Yeah, I just like went
Been
around
there.
asking members of the public questions. So I go to Wimbledon and I'd ask members of the public like, Andy Murray is playing Warwick Davis in the next round, who's going to win? And you get these like really nutty tennis fans who suddenly think they're on the BBC and go, well, actually Andy Murray's had a good form, but Warwick Davis is amazing. They just that's a crap because they think they're on TV.
He is amazing, but just not at tennis.
Yeah.
So
And then Mikey stumbled across those and I worked with him for a year, and then I started sort of, that kind of was fun, but kind of doing sketches which weren't particularly good, and then met Josh.
Yeah, so we worked just like randomly on a few videos together. I think the first really successful video we did together was when we made that Anna Maynard song. Obviously Connor helped us with that as well, but I got Archie along to help with the video, and we worked really well together. And then we did a video where we put me in prosthetics and went and did a prank on Joe and Diane, and that worked really well. And I don't know, we just found a bit of chemistry together, so we started working together on a more permanent basis. And it took like a good 6 months before anything really got going.
We did a video where we signed up as an Uber driver and drove around in a tank.
Yeah.
Picked up people in a tank.
Wow.
And Josh jolly nearly fired me when the video came out. It was the worst performing video on his channel. It got like 14,000 views in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'd expect that to do well.
Well, I checked your channel out on the way up here, and that's got millions
Well,
of
it suddenly
views.
found the tank-loving algorithm, who are a very important... No, we mustn't mock them. They're a very significant and vital subsection of YouTube.
They got us to where we are. No, it did. It did so badly. I guess it was a completely different type of content to anything that I'd been doing. And after the first 2 weeks, I was like, well, this is just not going to work. And then it found its way into some sort of tank algorithm because people were all of a sudden criticizing the fact that I'd called the tank a Challenger 2 when it was in fact a Scorpion mounted artillery unit.
Silly mistake, really.
Really
More for
basic
you.
error. Basic error.
And that video started to then slowly pick up some views. And while that was happening, there was a baby chick incubating in my apartment building, which we...
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
It was nice. The problem we've kind of got now into doing stuff where we're targeting companies and individuals, and we're constantly sitting there going, "Oh, if only we could come up with a fucking chick again." When it's like a nice video, right? We're bringing life into the world. There's nothing sweeter, and it's like there's nothing else like that.
Yeah. So just explain what you did then. So some people out there may not have seen it. So you got you. I'll let you do it.
At the same time as the tank video was being made, we went to Sainsbury's, we bought 40 or 50 quail eggs, put them in an incubator in my flat, and 20-something days later, one of them hatched into a real baby quail, which now lives on a farm called Godstone Farm in Surrey, and it's had its own egg of its own, which has hatched into its own baby quail. So
we are grandparents. That's very, very exciting. It was weird because Josh had absolutely no faith in its ability to hatch, and he was away in South Africa visiting a friend. So my job for that month was not coming up with videos. It was being some weird quail midwife where I had to go into his flat every day and turn the eggs around over and over again.
Wow.
You have to turn them, and then you candle light them to see if there's anything inside. Tragically, I regret to inform listeners, we did have a few stillborns, which is obviously very, very sad.
Yeah.
Turn them properly, but then luckily one Cressa was successfully hatched, and it then met Chris Hemsworth.
it did, yeah.
So for a quail, it's had a fucking great life. Not only is it's not being eaten, which is like in the life of a quail, that's like pretty dope. It's also
It
met
got to
Chris
live
Hemsworth
in Battersea, which is also amazing for a quail. Not
yeah,
many
it's zone
quails.
one. I mean, it's really nice.
That's mental.
Yeah, and it was so weird because I remember when that tank video did bad, I was like, oh my God, this has done terribly. Now I've got these fucking eggs in my flat. And it was just, I was at a real
You'd
low.
also just signed a 6-month contract with me, so terrible for you.
And then, everything just sort of started working, luckily. And for the past few months, it's been going amazingly well. So it's been crazy.
Yeah. What was that like when before the channel like blew up again? Like it was fizzling out, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, because I mean, we spoke about this before.
Yeah.
I think I'd gotten to a point where the videos we were making, people didn't really want to see anymore, and we'd kind of exhausted that boy band era of making videos, and it was time for something new. I didn't know what that was going to be, but when I was working with Archie, I felt like together we were doing something, we were onto something really cool. So I was like, do you want to have a go at this and try and make something new? And somehow we've managed to do it, which is so exciting because I wanted to carry on making videos, but I couldn't carry on making the videos I was making because it just wasn't working.
I think if we've done anything that's kind of been good, it's bringing content that you could easily put on TV. My background's more TV than YouTube. Before I met Josh, I'd never watched
You didn't
YouTube.
ask, mate.
I didn't know what.
You didn't ask me.
I didn't ask. I can't hear you. Sorry. Sorry, my headphones aren't working. It's basically making stuff that like is actually wanting to watch because it's good quality or it's what we strive for, rather than because of the personalities in it.
Yeah. We had Harry Hugo on last week, who works at the Goat Agency, works with a lot of YouTubers, and he said about how like the Sidemen videos are obviously like popping off, but they are just old TV formats, aren't they? And so I think you've hit the nail on the head with the stuff that you're doing. You could easily see it on television. Do you get much backlash from the videos? Because they're fine, they're completely fine, especially compared to some of the stuff I've done in the past, but what I imagine people call you out for it.
In all of them so far, there hasn't really been anything bad. Obviously with the Katie Hopkins videos, I got a few death threats and some crazy right-wing people
That's mad
saying some crazy things, but on the whole it's been pretty good. I don't think we've crossed
I've
the
had
line.
a friend who's blocked me and won't talk to me as a result of the reality star video we did.
what
Yeah, we put a video up where we tricked reality stars. They thought they were coming onto a TV show, a genuine TV show, but it wasn't. It was Josh's channel, and we played the producers and made them say stupid things. And a couple of friends of mine who are reality stars really took offense to that, and one of them isn't talking to me.
But
Really?
the reality stars themselves, Bobby
Norris.
actually took it really well. Actually took it really well, and he posted it on his Instagram being like, fair play, I'm the first one to put my hands up when someone catches me out.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice.
Yeah.
But you've got to punch up, right? You've got, that's the aim. You've got, when you talk about backlash and stuff, you always want to feel like you're doing something that is punching someone who's, you know, more successful, more significant, more important. I
Yeah.
think if you start going for the little guys and girls, you lose all credibility. We had a couple of death threats, but
They're mental.
Yeah, I
saw her
imagine,
tweet.
I can't imagine that Katie Hopkins' loyal fans would be the nicest people.
No, shockingly
in the
not.
world.
When she tweeted it, I read through some of the replies, and I was just like, how are these people defending her?
How do they
The crazy
exist?
thing is they freak out about what we did, but they're like calling us snowflakes for doing that to her. They're like, oh, you snowflakes, you can't do that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? We just made a prank and you're the one getting so
I
angry.
spoke to a couple of people about it who said that they actually felt a little bit bad for her until her speach. That speech was a
that
turning
was-
point.
We will get to that. We will get to
Yeah.
that because I've got a whole segment about that video.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite videos on YouTube.
Never try who said that.
Well,
Let's not do an impression of it.
Did you ever think you'd say that one of Josh Pieters' videos is one of your favourite on YouTube?
no, I never thought I'd say that. I
Did you
never
like
thought-
any of the videos that like Josh, Joe, and Casper were doing? Because as the sort of policeman of the internet, was there any of that you thought was good?
I don't know if I was the policeman of the internet, but no, I thought it was all shit. but I liked Josh from the first time I met him when he came into the YouTube studio and we had like that debate about t-shirts, which is now on the internet forever. I liked you as a person.
Yeah.
That was never the thing. And then we were gonna have a boxing match at one point, weren't we?
Yeah.
Still up for it?
No.
He'd rather fight someone with, I'm not going to say it.
Oh God, no.
But it's gone. I felt like that the Jake Paul Anderson Gibb fight. That was, I don't know. It got to the point now. I found that a bit uncomfortable. Just like the whole thing. I really got into the Logan and JJ one, and it felt like really real and interesting. Whereas that one felt a bit I don't know,
Forced.
Yeah, it was just a shame. It was just a shame that it was over so quickly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Heard that before, yeah. Low hanging fruit.
That's it, you got to pick it, mate.
I do think that it's still got legs, though. The whole YouTube boxing
Yeah,
thing.
definitely.
Yeah.
That one I just felt like was a bit strange the whole way it was promoted and stuff.
Yeah, like the actual night, the event, like there just was hardly anyone there.
Really?
Yeah, hardly anyone there. Because you were at the one in LA, weren't you, for the KSI Logan? And that was a spectacle.
Yeah.
That was a fucking spectacle. And I'm not saying that this one wasn't, but it wasn't. Do you know, do you know what I
It
mean?
was going to be hard to follow that up, though, I guess.
Yeah.
It was like Jake
Yeah.
and Logan.
I think
Yeah,
if they are going to do it again, it has to be KSI Jake Paul. They can't do any other fight before that. No chance.
I think
It'd be
that's
pointless.
I think that's going to happen.
I'd imagine it will.
I don't think till like 2021, something like that.
Oh no, I think it's going to happen this year.
Nah.
What do you boys think?
Archie really likes YouTube
I've got
boxing.
no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
Of all the things I couldn't give a fuck about, two non-professional boxers off the fucking internet hitting each other a little bit in America and making millions of money is so low down on that list. I don't know why anyone gives a shit. All two of them, they're making loads of money. I'm not, but it's not entertaining. It's not interesting.
If me and Josh had a fight, you would
I'd
be.
probably come and watch. But it's the same as you two going to the gym and so what? You're not good at it. Like watching you do your review videos is fun. It's funny. You're good at that. But like, I might as well just take up being a fucking astronaut for the afternoon and hope people enjoy it. It's crap.
If people enjoy fighting is because it doesn't matter how good you are at fighting, you're still actually fighting. So you're hitting each other, and that's why it's entertaining.
No.
Yeah, but then your argument
Violence.
just then about you might as well be an astronaut for the day. You've been a quail breeder.
And I succeeded.
You've been a tank Uber driver.
And I succeeded.
You're
Keep
pretending to be these other things, though. They succeeded at boxing.
Yeah, but with those, you're like proving that you can do something successfully. They're not proving they can box. They're proving they can hit a little bit and make a shit ton of cash.
Yeah, I suppose until they fight an actual boxer,
Yeah,
they can't
I'll
prove
tell you
that
what,
they
I
can
will
box.
happily watch JJ or KSI, who I've never met, I'm sure is a great guy. I'd happily watch him versus a proper
Tyson
professional Tyson
Fury.
Fury. That I will pay for. And then we'll see how good they are.
Yeah, but it's still entertaining.
No, it's a free world, mate. Go and do it. I just don't want to be involved. I'm not saying ban YouTube boxing.
You've got to understand, he is strange. He doesn't like watch movies and things. He's like culturally from 30 years ago.
Why do you not watch movies? By the way, they had movies 30 years ago.
He will have seen a movie that came out 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, no, I like some of the classics. You know, Julie Julie Walters and that sort of thing. Yeah, no.
What's your favourite movie ever?
Casablanca.
No, my favourite movie, Italian Job.
Right?
It's an
Original?
absolute classic. Obviously. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever watched a remake in my life. No. I don't think there's any good films that have been made in the last 10 years.
So how can you be on that kind of fence, say that, but then be friends with reality TV stars?
Because they're equally common and naff as well. But they're fun to hang around, you know.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I do watch movies. I do watch some movies, but I'm not one of those people who watches loads of movies. I don't sit down every night and watch a film. I watch good films, but I'm not into
Yeah, but how do you know if it's good before you watch it?
Well, does it win an Oscar?
Have you seen Parasite?
No, not yet. It's not the one with subtitles.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Obviously not.
seen it?
Obviously not.
Yeah,
You come across so highbrow and low at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is.
No, but Where Eagles Dare. That's
You're
a
like
classic from the 70s.
like a scumbag trapped in a posh man's body.
Yeah.
Have you ever had someone on the podcast with this kind of voice?
No.
It's up there, isn't it?
It's brilliant for a podcast,
It's great.
but like your voice is the kind of voice that would irritate my dad.
He doesn't listen, don't worry.
Hello, and welcome to Jack Made's podcast.
Yeah, my dad. How can I sum my dad up? Supports West Ham, drinks lager. We'll move on. He
Likes fighting, is that what you're saying? Is he a boxer?
No, he'd just be irritated by how well you pronounce things. But one of the first times I met you, I was doing a video for your channel, Josh, and I said the word.
Oh, this has baffled
Yeah,
me.
we've spoken about
to
this.
this day.
Yeah,
'cause I was in the room.
Yeah.
And
Is this
Jack,
nonce?
Jack used the word nonce, and you said, "Don't say that because it's a derogatory term from the 1950s for being gay." Nonce is a
Funnily
paedophile.
enough, after we recorded that, I was like, "What were you talking about?" By the way, where you said "nonce" is a derogatory word for a gay person
From the 50s or something, yeah.
I think. And then he looked it up, and he was actually wrong. I think.
Well, I'll look it up again. Hang on. I'll just Google. Hey Siri, define nonce.
This is a first.
That's going in the trailer.
As an adjective, it means of a word or expression coined for one occasion.
Wait,
Would you
what?
like to hear the
No, it's a person convicted of sexual offence, especially against a child. Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, not a gay person. Well, can be a gay person, but not necessarily.
You can't have gay nonce.
I'm glad that
They're
you.
not
I'm
mutually
glad,
exclusive.
No.
I'm glad that you cleared that up because that's been doing me in ever since that day.
Well, the nonce has.
Oh,
That
back in
was
the day.
right.
Back in the day.
That was right when we just started working together. I think was when
Was
we
it?
did that? Yeah, that was.
Is
like
that just
third or
before the
fourth
channel
video.
blew up?
Yeah.
No,
it's-
because he'll then take credit for it. No.
Yeah, that was where I was going. That's exactly where I was going.
He bowled that spinner at you. You should see it.
I'm so gutted that he's read that so well. Jesus Christ. It's going to be a long show.
How did that video do?
Did mediocre.
So there we go, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, we yeah.
What's your go-to meal deal?
Go-to meal deal at Tesco.
You can go wherever you want. This is your dream world.
Go-to meal deal would be ham and cheese with mustard. I love ham and cheese with mustard, and then apple cider and vinegar. Apple cider vinegar and salt. What's it called in this country? In South Africa, it's just salt
Crisps.
and vinegar. Apple cider crisp,
Yeah.
and then a water, probably.
Okay. Hang on. I need to digest that.
And that's Tesco.
Apple cider vinegar. Yeah,
See, that's
just
waitress.
just wait.
There it is.
Yours is Waitrose.
No, I go to the Ivy at half price on Mondays. Little minute steak with fries.
What's your go-to? Have you ever had a meal deal?
Yes, I have had a meal. Yeah.
What's your go-to?
What are they talking about? I occasionally go for the cheese twists in Sainsbury's. I'm aficionado on cheese twists.
Are they in the meal deal?
Yes, they are. The baked goods in Sainsbury's. Now, the Sainsbury's cheese twist is infinitely superior to
I
the
like a
Tesco
cheese
one.
twist.
Really good. Make sure it's Sainsbury's. I've tried them all. Waitrose is crap.
Okay.
All Aldi. I've never actually been into an Aldi. That's true. That thought just crossed my mind.
I quite believe it.
Josh, I'd be interested to know how you would describe your channel to somebody that's never heard it now.
Yeah.
How would you describe it now?
That's interesting. I guess now the theme that the videos follow are, in a way, answering a question you never thought you had, which has now become the bio of my channel. So for the most part, doing something that is crazy and you're not sure whether it's possible or not, and then hoping that that would be the thumbnail and title, and then working backwards and actually pulling that off. Because I think what's happened with YouTube is clickbaiting something just doesn't work at all. If you have a crazy thumbnail and title and the video's bathos or it's a disappointment, it's just people are going to click off and your video will never get served. If you can have that sensational thumbnail and title and actually pull that off in the video, that seems to work, and that's kind of proven true in a lot of the videos we've done, like the video where we sold microwave meals on Deliveroo. Like that thumbnail and title, I think people just feel like they have to click to see if you actually did that, and if you did, they're going to watch through the whole video and then it'll keep getting served.
It's very Zach and Jay.
Yeah, it's very
Those Nico.
That's what I tweeted the other day. My favourite creators now are yourself and Nico and Zach and Jay, and I recently uploaded the Greg Paul documentary, and that took a lot of elements from all of you guys. Do you how much what's the word, shelf life do you think this kind of content has?
I think together, I'm really excited for what we can do. I feel like sometimes in entertainment, the ideas come together and end up doing really well. And I think that's hopefully what me and Archie have found in each other. And I think we'll continue to do well for at least a little while, as long as we keep evolving and keep up to date with.
Do you think these style of videos can keep going until people run out of ideas?
Well, I think it's important to remember, like, coming from the internet, people think, how long is it going to last for, because it's doing really well. This is what we're doing, and what Zach and Jay and what any of these guys are doing. It's not new. It's been done on mainstream TV for decades. If you look at shows like Chris Morris and Brass Eye, which most people listening to this will never have heard of, you look at Revolution will be televised. The idea of, here's something crazy, can we achieve it? Yes, we can. Even Noel Edmonds was doing it in his TV show on Friday nights in the 80s. Even now, Anton Deck's Saturday Night Takeaway has elements of it as well in their VTs. So there's always going to be a hunger for that kind of framework, whether you're pranking an individual or a business, or whether it's not even a prank at all, it's just something crazy or amazing. I don't think that's ever going to go away as long as the ideas continue to be fresh. But even the ideas we're having, they're all kind of reinventions of a wheel. Famously in entertainment and creativity, there are no new ideas. That's true, right? But you just try and update them and put a different spin on them. So I think it'll continue to carry on as long as creators, we don't ever get lazy. And that's, I think, where YouTube, these trends always die, is they get oversaturated, and you get lots of people doing it who aren't good enough to be doing it, and you get those that are good enough to be doing it, resting on their laurels and their massive views, and they get lazy. And that's when the trends die, in my very humble opinion.
I think, obviously, I've just said that I'm going to try jump on it and do similar things, but I don't know if we'll see too many people try and do it, because it's a lot of fucking work, isn't it? Yeah. It's a lot of work. Like, that Greg Paul video I did took us a week to shoot. Like, you'll know, like, you build up to that last scene as well. Sometimes you don't get the last scene and the video falls. And it's just hit 1 million views. Whereas, for example, me slagging off Ollie's t-shirts back in the day, that's probably on 3 million. Do you know what I mean? So the lazy part of me will go, well, let's see what other YouTubers are fucking up.
There's content, which are you prouder of?
Oh, definitely the documentary.
Precisely. And what's going to give you a longer?
Yeah.
I guess, that's more sustainable as well. That content that you work harder on. But I mean, it's the same thing with us. We spent 2.5 months on that.
Often we were 3 months with Hopkins, and
wow,
and
a shit ton
Delivery was 2 months.
Was it?
Yeah.
Josh spends a lot of money on some of these ideas. Well, they're not cheap sometimes.
Wow.
I was like, that Katie Hopkins one was such a risk, because obviously everything had to be booked. That hotel had to be booked. The dinner had to be booked. Her flights, her fee, everything had to be done.
How much do you think you spent on that?
I probably wouldn't want to say publicly, but for me, it's a lot of money. Like, it's a lot of my money. So if it didn't work, it would be a really bad day.
Would you still do it if you made a loss?
I did make a loss.
You made a loss on it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Worth it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
100%, because you got to call one of the biggest cunts on the planet right now a cunt.
But do it in a clever way.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's priceless, that's fucking priceless.
I'd say commercially, as like as a result of what happened, it wasn't a loss in terms of what it's worth. But if you're looking at pure numbers, it lost money.
Oh, fair enough. Have
Probably less money than she's losing as a result of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Pleasing.
So that's a win. Yeah. How have you done many videos that you've never uploaded because you couldn't get that final bit?
We haven't gone far in the process before we've had ideas that just haven't really got off the ground because we got closed down pretty quickly by the company or person we were trying to go after or make a video about. But we luckily haven't really got to a point where we've made the majority of a video.
And it would be an argument we'd have. I think we're kind of quite good at... There's always a massive element of luck in what we do. we're quite good at making our own luck. So like with the Katie Hopkins video, I always say like I reckon between us we probably took somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 individual decisions to make that video.
Yeah.
Down to the menu choices, which 4 seasons, what day we're going to do it. Like everything was planned. So yeah, there's still a massive element of luck, but you kind of try and maximize your own chances. So by the time you've got to the point where you're investing the money and you're there, ideally things work. They don't always work. Things do go wrong.
But when she walked into the room for dinner, I was still putting one of the microphones in the roof. She was like 20 minutes early. So she walked in and I was on a ladder in the middle of the room. And she was like, "What on earth are you doing up there?" And I was like, "Oh, Katie, just getting the lights just perfect for you, my girl." And she like laughed and it was fine.
Oh my God.
It was just like, it was scary.
With these type of videos, can it not get to a point where you're too recognizable?
I hope not, but
We're both quite boring to look at.
No, but I always think that, like Impractical Jokers, there's a massive TV show. I'm like, if they tried to do anything now, I think you just go, well, it's you guys.
But what you remember is we're uploading one video a month at the moment. So people are watching us. So like a few people are watching us to 10 minutes a month, and most people. I've had loads of people go over sitting at dinner. They're like, "What do you do?" Whatever, and I'm like, I work with a YouTuber, and we do YouTube videos." "Oh, classic. Do you know the guys who did the Katie Hopkins thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that was me," because they don't really. We're never really the star. Josh even isn't really the star of the show. Like, it's the star of the show is whoever it is. We're kind of whatever it is we're trying to do. So the quail is more memorable than we are in that video.
Hey.
Yeah. But that's not what it's about, right? It's not about us or Josh.
Are you so confident in the content now that uploading once a month like doesn't stress you out anymore? Because if I don't upload for a month, every day I just think in my head I'm irrelevant now. I'm irrelevant. But are you confident that video is going to be such a banger that you can have that time away planning it?
It constantly stresses me out, but I don't upload anything now that's not as good or at least on a similar level to that video. So it's so hard to make another video like that. So we're trying, and like every day we're trying to come up with a good idea or one that's good enough, but it just takes time. And I think we'd like to get to a point definitely where we can upload at least one video every 2 weeks.
Right.
I did get a text this morning from Josh, which was a photo of the hotel he was staying in, of the swimming pool, of him enjoying breakfast with Casper Lee, followed by an idea needs to be happening soon. Fuck off. It'll come when it'll come. You're having a nice little pan of chocolate in a 5-star hotel. I mean,
Wow,
but yeah, it does.
You've taken that out of context.
It does. No, but like what I'm saying is we do feel the pressure to come up with stuff. As Josh says, quality control gets higher every time.
This is more a question for me than one that maybe the listeners will care about, but I work with a lot of my friends, like these two do the podcast. I've got another friend who's coming on to help me do some ideas, Alfie. What is your working relationship, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'd quite like to replicate it myself. So like, how do you two work? Like, I don't obviously need to know the official agreement and whatever, but like, what is your day-to-day like?
Well, we were friends before we worked together, which can sometimes make it harder, but I think it's made it work for us. And it's honestly just spending time together is when we come up with ideas, whether it's at my house, which is where we have a little office where we do a lot of stuff. We're actually looking at potentially getting an office now together to give ourselves like a proper working space. But it's just anywhere, really. Archie was on holiday with us in South Africa, so we did quite a lot of the work for
Sounds like you packed me in your suitcase just to carry on. Brought him with me on. It's not my main thing, so I only do a couple of days a week.
Okay, right.
So I'm a magician and have host television shit and do lots of other things as well.
Yeah.
But it starts, like most things, with the first dinner and then a second dinner and then third dinner and then you hang out at their house quite a lot. They're using you for views. It's a classic YouTube life.
Have you seen us magic, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it.
That's like, the YouTube videos are boring compared to his magic.
Really?
In my contract, he has to say that publicly. That's a good example of our working relationship.
Have you got any cards with you?
It doesn't really work on audio, sorry. Think about it, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Have you actually got any though?
Probably. Yeah, they'll be in my car.
I'd really like to see some.
After the show, I'll whip out my wand.
We've got cameras. We've got cameras. You could do some magic.
I should have brought that, sorry.
I'm just making you like a performing monkey now, just poking you, like, do some stuff.
Julius Dean is one of Archie's role models, so he obviously likes to learn a lot from him.
That is fake news.
Julius Dean does some
I
awful
cannot
videos.
stand that bloke. Yeah, so you said your background's TV.
That's an arrogant way of putting it. Yeah, I've hosted a few TV shows. Not as many as I would like, but probably more than the public would like.
Is that something that you two would like to do, like get on TV, or are you just comfortable in your own space?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're working on that at the moment. So we're in the very early stages of kind of trying to get what we're doing at the moment together onto kind of a more mainstream platform.
That's strange though, because I see a lot of like, for example, I wanted to be a presenter once upon a time, and then I realised that presenters were making YouTube channels, and I found like I don't know where I'm going with this, but like I'm comfortable where I am now. Like I used to feel like it was a ladder and YouTube was a stepping stone to reach the goal of TV, where I don't know if that's flipped round.
I think it's less true. I think originally commissioners definitely wanted YouTubers on TV because they look at the numbers, they're like, you've got loads of followers, they'll watch. In truth, they don't. The audience doesn't transfer at all.
Really?
Very, very little. So sorry, you're grabbing the microphone, okay?
But I think what Jack's saying is, why do we want to take what we're doing and put it on TV?
When you're getting millions on your channel anyway.
I think it gives you much more longevity and it opens you up to a whole new market. And frankly, you've got much more money to play with to do bigger and better things. That's the primary reason.
Yeah.
Because the budgets for TV are much greater.
I mean, we've got a couple of ideas that we just can't afford to do that are just so much money. So perhaps if we had a TV commissioner behind us, we could do some really incredible stuff.
Fair enough. I look forward to seeing that.
I'm with you on that. Like it is that question of what's happening with TV, where's it going? But I think it still is we're still at a point where you can do some big stuff on TV. But as you say, a lot of people on TV are desperate to have YouTube channels.
Yeah.
But by TV, I don't mean just the classic BBC One, BBC Two, ITV. I mean, you could incorporate Netflix or Quibble or Disney or any of the Apple guys that have got lots and lots of money to spend.
Fair enough. I want to talk in more depth. I know we touched on it, but about the Katie Hopkins video, because it has kind of taken the online world by storm. Can you remember the moment that one of you or both of you had the idea? Where did that stem from?
Josh said, I want to hit Katie Hopkins.
Right.
And I was like, no, she's not famous enough. and then it kind of, that was ages ago.
Did you genuinely think she wouldn't be a big enough?
At that time, I wasn't convinced she was a big enough target or a big enough fish for. At that point, it was our YouTube audience I didn't think would care about Katie Hopkins.
Really?
And then we started doing this different videos, and then he brought it up again. And I was like, yeah, it was great when you first said it. I can't believe I was being such a dick.
Yeah.
And then she put up a tweet saying that gay people shouldn't be allowed to have PrEP, the drug that you can take that prevents you getting HIV,
right,
on the NHS. And just like lots of other crap that was just usual shit.
Yeah.
And so we morally justified it to ourselves.
Yeah, then I was in South Africa at the time, and Archie I knew was coming out later. So I said we should try get her to South Africa, and Archie had the very fun idea of presenting her with a very special award. So that kind of came together, and we emailed her not expecting anything.
Right.
Thought like, we'll give this a try, but it's not going to work. And then she responded, but she said, unfortunately, I'm banned from South Africa for hate speech.
Oh
so
my God.
I can't, because we originally invited her to come and receive her award at the gala dinner, which was going to be in Cape Town, but she couldn't come. So then we thought...
It was even better than that. I then went around we wanted to do it in a nice hotel so that the con sounded really, really proper. No one thinks they're going to get pranked at the Four Seasons. So I emailed pretty much every Four Seasons in Europe to find out which the cheapest was. And on that, we decided Prague was a nice place. Was going to be by far the cheapest.
Before you emailed her, I imagine there's a lot of planning to make this look genuine. You can't just go in and cold email someone.
So we set up a big website, a whole online profile for all the people that are involved in the website, which is still live on ctcfos.com.
Wow.
To have a look at it. And it's very carefully written by us to literally go and sort of, make her wet at every opportunity. We're just really wanting to get her to be loving what is written there.
Yeah.
But it does give her a chance as well, because the founder of our organization is Tom Black, who is one of the leaders of the Ku Klux Klan. He's got his face printed on the website. My father is the chairman. We had also, is it Sally Jubilee?
Sally Jubilee, yeah, who's a photograph of the woman who is the voice of the Jubilee line. So we always slightly, and again, we were going to make a big thing about that, and we do that for two reasons. First of all, so that the audience feels like the target or the mark has got a fair chance, right? Because she should read through it. Which they do.
All she had to do was Google it.
But we also do it quite rightly to give ourselves some beats in the video, so like we can go. And we even had we didn't even include it this time because it was just like there's just so much stuff we couldn't.
We did.
Sally Jubilee we cut out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sally Jubilee didn't make. Sorry, Sally.
Did you cut that out?
No, we did. Was that included?
Yeah, because that rings a bell.
Yeah, we showed the three people who...
Oh, we did we?
Yeah.
All right, sometimes we did. There's other things on the website. If you read through it really carefully, you'll find deliberate spelling mistakes. You'll find lots of things we didn't include.
So that fascinates me that there was jokes that you cut out. Is that because you're very aware of the algorithm and how long a video needs to be and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it was just... We wanted it to get to that dinner as quick as possible because it was just so good that we didn't want to lose people before the dinner because we just knew how good it was. And I think we always aim for 10 minutes because that just seems to be what works on YouTube.
But we won't go over to if it's not funny, it goes.
Yeah.
That's the rule. Yeah. If it's not really fucking funny, it doesn't happen.
But we do try to extend things if we're short of footage to get to 10 minutes because that seems to work on YouTube.
Yeah. Did you get that video monetized? Because it said it in the thumbnail, didn't it?
Yeah, but the thumbnail we did.
It was asterisk.
So the thumbnail we asterisked
But
the
it didn't say a rude word,
CUNT.
it just said campaign to unify the nation. Just use funny font.
But we monetize. But so we do think about that quite carefully. Obviously, otherwise the business doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time thinking about that. On the day it was uploaded, Katie was banned from Twitter by Twitter.
Yeah.
At about 2:00 in the afternoon, I got a text from a journalist friend of mine saying who knew what we were up to, saying she's getting banned from Twitter. Press release out is embargoed till news is going to come out. And I was like, Josh, we've got to get this out tonight. So we literally had like 2 computers going, rushing the edit out.
Oh, so that was a massive positive for you.
Yeah,
Well, that's what
quarter break,
big
certainly.
part of luck came into it because I think it would have done well and it would have been a big thing, but I don't know if it would have gone that big on Twitter had she not been banned that day. I think
So
we were
much traction.
so lucky with that because the fact that she'd been banned from Twitter that day and then someone had put a photo up like we did, that just made it
Because
work.
the photo went mental as well, didn't it?
That on Twitter went crazy.
Yeah.
So that was just, and that's just life sometimes. Like, that was just a massive fortune for us that happened.
Did you already have the video finished, waiting to go out?
No, we were literally there in his flat with me on one laptop, him on another, me writing voiceovers.
Oh.
Like, Josh, record this, record. It was a little bit like editing Big Brother in the days. Like, we're TXing in 10 minutes,
So-
get the fucking thing going.
Wow.
It's really fun.
We intended to put it up on the Saturday and we were going to edit the whole Thursday, but we weren't going to finish. We had so much to do.
I already started drinking beer.
Yeah.
I was at the end of the day.
And then we saw that this happened, so we were like, shit, we have to get this up tonight. And then I think I got up at like just after 9 or something.
Yeah.
Fucking
And
hell.
then Piers Morgan retweets it, and then James,
did he?
James O'Brien from LBC retweets it, and then then lots of celebrities, Stormzy, and once it gets that traction on Twitter, which has only come really because of she was banned that morning, so she was already a big trend.
Yeah.
So, when you combine good content with a bit of luck like that, it's gonna go.
Well, how tedious was it for you having to make the website and all of that, or do you find that quite fun?
I love that bit. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, it's a big magic trick. The whole thing is a big magic trick. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Was there a moment
Fun.
during all of it where you went, this is worth it?
When she was
the dinner.
the dinner. Muslims raping their own mothers.
The speech.
was
The speech was
The
mental.
speech was horrific.
The whole dinner was hilarious because Josh and I sat next to her and just had to pretend to be racist for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that was-
Talk us through that then. So what was it like the moment you met her? Where were you? I know you saw her, you basically pitched outside a hotel room. But what was the moment you actually
The
introduced?
moment I saw her was, the plan was for me to meet her upstairs. The dinner room was downstairs at the Four Seasons. She arrived like 20 minutes early and walked straight into the room. So I was on a ladder putting a microphone in the roof.
I was briefing actors at the time.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And she said, "Oh, hello, what are you doing up there?" And I said, "Oh, Katie, how nice of you to join us. I was just fixing a light," or whatever I said. And then I met her. She, in person, was someone you could definitely get along with. She came across as a nice person, but some of the things she said, you just knew, like, she wasn't just saying the things she says publicly for clout. She is actually that bad of a person.
Yeah,
Wow.
but when you get her onto non-political or contentious subjects, she's really charming. So if you're talking about the weather or the football or anything like that, she's really nice. But then she was like, at one point she turns to me and goes, "So what do you think about multiculturalism?" And I was like, okay, well, I've got to not actually say what I think about multiculturalism because that's not going to go down well with her.
Yeah.
So I channeled a very old Rowan Atkinson sketch where I went, well, I like curry, but now we've got the recipes. Can they fuck off home? Which is a really old Rowan Atkinson sketch.
That's brilliant.
And thinking, anyway, she was like, "Oh no, that's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely." I was like, "Fucking, that's nothing you can't get away with here." It's like- genuinely, I think if we'd have brought in somebody in a KKK suit, or if one of us had started using really inflammatory language like the N-word or whatever, I think I don't know, but it's quite possible we could have got her to repeat it.
Really?
There's no way we'd have been comfortable doing that. But
Wow.
we
But that
had
wasn't
enough.
really. Our intention was more to play a silly prank, which was to give her the award with that behind her. But then she went on to make this insane speech that it was just like,
Oh, you didn't ask her to make the speech?
no,
we asked her to make a speech about the importance of free, because all we wanted to do was make her look a bit silly.
Yeah.
A speech on the importance of freedom of speech, but by making her comfortable, we knew we'd get. We did need her to say some bad things to justify what we were doing.
Yeah.
That was important.
But she's already done plenty of that, hasn't she?
Yeah, but I think you want to see it in the room. It's all very
Yeah.
well at the beginning of the video going, "Here's some nasty tweets," but actually you kind of want to see it really be reinforced. Which
Yeah.
but we didn't encourage her that much to do it.
What would you have done if she hadn't have said anything bad?
I guess we would have just had to see what the footage we had was and make a video out of that. We never pushed her to say anything. I guess we just made her feel that she was in a room where she could say those things, and she did. And we were fairly confident that she was predictable. And
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the experiment of, we all know Katie Hopkins is dreadful, but how dreadful is she when she's surrounded by people that she thinks are friends?
Yeah.
That, to us, was the core experiment at that moment.
But-
So it wasn't about making her say bad things. It was just about, like, what will she say if she thinks we're all really good friends with us?
Yeah. Off of that, I saw a lot of people re-sharing the video and comments of people going, I can't believe people in that room are laughing and agreeing with her. I was
my
you need to
God.
watch the full video to understand it, but it's because people were stealing it to try and get their own likes on Twitter. I was like, just share the original and then they'll see that it's not people agreeing.
Yeah, no,
a lot of people were just replying saying, no, they're actors, but the fact that they could sit there going, so many of them.
Did you have to do a lot of rehearsals yourself? Because you're essentially playing characters.
Yeah, we rehearsed. So we got to Prague 2 days before the actual prank, and Archie and I went through everything, went to the hotel, made sure everything was right. Then the actors met us.
Just on that, for example, when we went to the hotel, we stood by the podium and realised there was a sodding great big mirror opposite. So the minute I flicked the switch to cunt on the back, she was going to be looking at her, oh shit, it's got cunt. So like all of that kind of stuff. To make sure that
blocked that. And then the actors rehearsed with me. We did that whole speech thing 4 or 5 times. I'd practiced the speech obviously a lot, but then we rehearsed it with them in the room, giving her the award, clapping and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was like a proper rehearsed dinner. It was surreal doing that whole thing, because we were playing out the scene, but we were meant to just be pretending like we're having a normal dinner, and she thought we were having a normal dinner, but it all felt really strange.
She, the great joy of this prank was, there's some great footage actually of her. She left the building having absolutely no idea, which means that her lawyers don't get a chance to, because everything we do is legal. She signed a release form. We're always above the right side of the law. But she's just literally sort of skipping out of the hotel, holding her trophy, and just tell her about your favourite comment. Tell them about your favourite comment.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing I've seen. Was a comment on the video is just, I'm loving the thought of imagining Katie at home, watching this video, slowly, dejectedly getting up, taking her trophy off the mantelpiece and putting it in the bin. Because she walked home with it like she walked home like kind of like waving us off, being like,
wow.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad?
No. Not at all. I think this is really important. It's a question we get asked a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to understand this is a woman who has monetized hatred. She's gone around attacking minorities and people who are really struggling. She absolutely loathes everything about this country, which most right-minded people think is a good thing. She's, anyone who's monetizing what she says and how she says it, fuck them. We aim to make her look silly. That's what we aim to do. She effectively did the damage herself by making a speech. We didn't do that. She did it.
Yeah.
She's really good as well at making, I think, people feel sorry for her, or making people align to her, which is, I think, if you do a bit of research, is similar to any sort of dictator in the past. They're great at making a room like them and giving them a uniting message. And it kind of felt like she was doing that on the night. But you do have to remember some of the things this woman said are really, really bad. And I felt even more vindicated about what we did by seeing some of her tweets about the Brits and Dave and Storms and some of the things she'd been saying about them.
And Philip
Schofield as well. She is there to just say what she knows is going to anger and upset everyone and profit off of that, which makes me feel what we did is perfectly sound.
She has commented on the video, hasn't she?
She put up an Instagram post. That was
last time I picked up a cunt award, they didn't have to buy their friends or some nonsense.
What does she mean by that?
We had a bunch of actors. And famously, Josh does buy all his friends. It's the fact that we had actors there rather than...
And she said there were no gingers there.
Yes.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
She is actually quite funny as a person. I mean, like, when she's not talking
that doesn't
about...
strike me as...
No, she's very articulate. No, that's not a zinger. But when she's talking about non-racist stuff, she's pleasant and quite witty.
But going back to what you said about the dictatorship, Hitler, when he wasn't killing Jews, probably had some charming elements to him.
I'm sure. I mean, there's no way you can rally that many people and rally a country around you if you don't have unbelievable people skills and great self-aware abilities.
There are a bunch of British aristocrats called the Mitford sisters, one of which ended up falling in love with Adolf Hitler. So the daughter of a duke. This won't give you too long a history lesson, but went to live with him for 3 weeks and fell in love with him. And Hitler was surrounded by very clever people who really, really liked him.
What we're saying is Katie Hopkins is Hitler.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
what
go.
That's what we're saying.
I'm not quite.
I'm just interested on the fact you said everything's above law. How do you do that? Like, do you have lawyers? Like, are you just well educated when it comes to stuff like that?
Yeah, we do have a lawyer that we work with across all these videos and make sure everything's done properly. Release forms are done properly. She signed the full release saying we have the full rights to use this footage forever, wherever, and however we want.
Really?
Was she aware she was being filmed?
Yep, she was. There was, I mean, there were hidden cameras, but there was a big camera man and camera
I see.
right there in front of her. So
filming
she
the event.
knew. That was the craziest thing. While she was giving her speech, she was looking down
That's
the camera.
insane. That is
Which is-
insane.
Yeah.
So was she just thinking it was going to go up on the website?
She thought it was our video for the Cape Town Collective for freedom of speech, and
Which is
she
what it was.
yeah.
There you go.
Are you still in character?
No.
Right, let's move on. You've got that's not surprisingly your most viewed video.
Somehow, yeah.
You've got a 9 milli banger sitting on the channel, and that's the fake Ed Sheeran prank. So if anyone doesn't know, we were speaking about the KSI versus Logan fight at the start of the show, and Josh and Casper took a fake Ed Sheeran to the fight and convinced the world. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I think it was like 4 days before the fight.
Yeah.
I was just on YouTube and I could see everything was about the fight on YouTube. So I phoned Archie and I was like, we got to do something around this. And he's like, well, I'm not here. I was like, okay, but what can we do? What can we do? And he's like, well, why don't we take a lookalike to the fight? And I was like, that's a good idea. And he's like, I know, we'll take a lookalike of the Queen. And then we were like, oh, no, wait, that won't really work. And we thought. And then I went on a lookalikes agency and I saw this guy, Ty.
Yeah.
It's just like Ed Sheeran. And we were like, this could work. So literally in that 4 days,
It was at this point, by the way, we were 2 days to KO.
Right.
Like, it was
so-
that, when we say we spend months on these things, that was done in about 48 hours.
yeah.
Wow.
Booked the flights, bought the tickets for the fight. There were only like a few left. Somehow just managed to get some that were kind of close enough to ringside. And yeah, we got there and it worked. But that was another video where I'd spent quite a bit of money and I was like, I don't know. Are they just going to say that's Ed Sheeran, or are they going to say, look, there's Josh with some guy who looks like Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
Which would have just been mortifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just worked. Like, I think it was also beneficial that everyone was American. So he didn't speak much, but even if he did, they just thought it was an English accent. They couldn't pick up that he was from Manchester, and Ed Sheeran's obviously from Somerset.
Yeah.
So-
But what are some of the big names you managed to convince on the night?
Oh, so that was, yeah. We got obviously all the general people who were at the fight, but then in the YouTuber area, it was perfect because every big YouTuber in the world was there. So I think Roman Atwood, Keemstar, Rice Gum, what's her name? Tana Mongeau.
Yeah.
She really loved it, and they all completely fell for it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing in front of my eyes. It just worked, which
That's
was
so good.
unbelievable.
Have you got? You obviously, don't tell us what they are, but are you working on any big videos at the moment?
You're part of one now, buddy.
Oh, I wouldn't mind.
We have like 5 or 6 ideas that in principle could work. We just don't exactly know how we would pull them off. So we're trying to flesh them out and maybe still find the right idea. I don't know. It's pretty scary now because we've had this video do so well. We don't want to come out with something disappointing.
Yeah.
So
It is amazing. Like we have a bunch of ideas that we would have done 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And now we're like the standard. Just you get so yourself editing is tough. But we
Yeah.
took a couple of weeks off after Sheeran, so we're back now.
How much do the ideas change from the original concept? Because with my Greg Paul video, very much inspired by what you did at the fight with Ed Sheeran. I was like, we need to go to the fight and do something funny. Nico obviously goes to fights and gets in the ring. Myself and Alfie, who was there, we didn't know what we were going to do until 2 days before.
They do the initial idea is always like kind of they finesse. But
Yeah.
by and large, what we put up is close to the idea we have at the beginning.
Is it really?
Yeah, but we do finesse between us. We're
Yeah.
quite good at throwing things around or combining two ideas.
Right.
So, like yesterday, we had an idea each that were both quite good.
Yeah.
And we were like it. We've today been working on combining those two into one video, and it's like suddenly that elevates into something that's worth doing. So yeah, they do finesse, but by and large, when we go like, it'll literally just be one of us just walking down the street and we'll see a Deliveroo van and we're like, oh fuck, anyone can do that. Why not?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
That's amazing. How are you? Do you consider yourselves to be quite like you're the pros at this now? Do you know what I mean? Like, would you say the way you speak about it, Archie, particularly makes me seem like you know the ins and outs. Like,
No, I went to public school, so I have far too much confidence. That's broadly speaking what it is.
But like, I'm working on a video at the moment, which I told you before we came on, and we have a strategy of how we're going to play it out. But you came in and already ironed out so many things that we were doing wrong. So that leads me to believe that you're very educated in this kind of.
No, I suppose if I've got anything, it's my magic background, which is what's helpful.
And journalism.
And I've been a journalist and I've worked in Parliament for 2 years. So I've kind of got a weird mesh of experience that is quite helpful when it comes. Parliament is lying to strangers, so that was kind of helpful.
Yeah.
Magic is lying to strangers. So that was kind of helpful. Journalism is lying to strangers, so that was kind of helpful. So you do kind of get a sort of sense of how things, or how it's more like I read a lot and I read a lot of the news and that sort of stuff, and you get a sense of how things work. And when you know how things work, you can tell how to break them.
Yeah.
By and large, that's kind of.
I've got an idea. I'll run it to you now. I'll bleep the name, and I don't think I'm ever going to do this idea, but I just want to see how you construct it and if you give it the green light, right? Right, I've got no problem with him personally. We get on, but the show I'm a bit iffy about. So I thought, would it be possible to create a fake story, a negative story about myself? And get that pushed out to the point where he reports on it, all the while like filming the behind the scenes of it, similar to the other idea that we've told you. But what would be the hiccups there?
That's a hell of a question.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to see how your brain works when it comes to ideas.
It would be great. I suppose my initial thought would be the difficult thing there and the vital thing there is, what is the story about you? Because it needs to be silly enough that the audience at home.
That's what we've been struggling with.
How the fuck have they has he not picked up on the fact this is fake?
Yeah.
But serious enough for him to run it.
Right.
And that's a really fine balance. So we did a thing where Josh sent a whole load of moon rocks to influencers, and they posted it, or claiming to be from the National Space Agency, and they posted it on their Instagrams. The idea that they don't check and they post whatever bullshit we send them.
Yeah.
And for me, what the clever bit there was the fact it was moon rock, because that's like an influencer with 1 million followers thinks, well, of course I deserve a piece of the moon, right? Obviously. I mean, like, because I'm a fucking beauty influencer, yeah, like, obviously I get moon. Whereas the audience go, how ridiculous, you can't give pieces of the moon. So that was like the perfect crossover of a kind of what we call in magic a dual reality.
Yeah.
It's one thing to one person and something else to someone else.
Right.
What do you think?
I think, it just depends entirely on what you're going to sell about yourself. What you're going to say you
can you be, if say it was something bad, right?
Yeah.
Can you be vindicated when that video is released?
I hope so. Casper and I tried something quite similar to this like 2 or 3 years ago, and it most people we did like fake diss tracks and stuff. I don't know if you saw, but I think most people more just watched the diss tracks and preferred calling us idiots than watching the actual reveal video.
Yeah.
I think half the amount of people watched that because they just didn't care that much.
Yeah,
Would it be more fun to sell a fake story on that could be real, because you can guess something he might have done, to other YouTube news shows, and then see if he covers it himself? Because then you get to play on the bias thing. So if you did actual journalism on him,
I thought that would be more
cruel, yeah,
dodgy, yeah, because
it's crueler, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How important is it to not be cruel?
Very.
Yeah.
Unless it's very justified. We've targeted one individual.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it again.
Really?
For a while. No, it has to be really well, I don't know what you feel about it, but
Yeah, I think it just has to be very justified. I mean, I remember seeing an article about Katie Hopkins where she spoke about migrants that had drowned on a beach and said that, the way the photos had been taken was in such a way to pump up the lefties and piss everyone else off. And, it was just like really off-putting. So I think when you're dealing with someone that bad, then it's justified. But I wouldn't say there's many people I'd want to individually target.
I think purely because of your videos and similar people, I've become more careful. Like, so about a month ago, because do you remember Will and E did a video where he gave YouTubers fake awards and listed them on a website?
The real you, that was it?
Yeah, something like that. There was
Millennial you.
That's the one. Yeah, I got an email asking if I would. It was a brand deal asking if I would slag. If this was you, by the way, right? If I would slag off a TikToker. right? And I thought straight away that's weird because brands don't always want to be aligned to negative content like that. And they were like, he speaks in Chinese. He's not Chinese, but he speaks fluent Chinese, and he's saying very, very racist stuff. Now I can't speak Chinese, so I went on this guy's TikTok, and I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but I thought this would be perfect to try and get commentary channels to show that we'll just slag off anyone without any background. So was that you?
It wasn't us, but it sounds like it was someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound serious.
That's someone having a game, surely.
I don't know. Yeah, well, if they have...
You didn't...
Because
I
would
didn't
you have checked what the guy was actually saying?
I was trying to check. I was like, if he is saying what they were telling me he's saying, that's mental.
Yeah, but he was probably saying very pleasant things, and then it would be flipped on you.
Yeah,
But what's a brand getting out of that?
I don't know, but they offered me a fee though. They offered me a good fee. So it was like,
It has to be fake.
but if it was someone playing a prank, would they legally have to pay me then?
Yes,
Like, if that was,
yes.
say that was you doing that, would I still get the fee?
But
Yes,
I'm gonna do it.
We set up companies and stuff. So a lot of what we do is founded in companies that are registered with Companies House that have their own bank accounts.
but you might, I mean, someone might also just be more of a cowboy and just do it and not pay you.
Oh, right.
I mean, what are you gonna sue them? It's such a
Yeah.
It would be such a
It's an interesting
one.
space.
Yeah.
Interesting space. I wouldn't call you pranksters because I think that belittles what you do. Would do you?
Sophisticated.
No,
I
we don't
think
have
we
a
like
word.
to
I don't know what I would call you.
use the internet to
Point out
point
stuff.
out things.
Yeah.
Lovely phrase.
Yeah.
That's
Do you-
lovely. Like, Katie Hopkins is a cunt.
Yeah. You
Oh,
must
look at that, a racist. Point that out.
you must have a big why before you do it, right?
Yeah.
A reason, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's very easy to go around making people look idiots. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm an idiot. We're all idiots. We all fuck up. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
There has to be a really big why. Like, is it safe to eat Deliveroo? That's, I think, an important question.
Yeah.
Deliveroo will, as a result, go and strengthen their processes.
Yeah.
It's a bit like hackers, right? When hackers, when they get in America, often end up working for the FBI. Because
Yeah.
It's kind of like, we need your skills.
Yeah.
So some of what we do is
We're going to work for the FBI?
yeah, that'd be fun. They do end up changing their processes, which makes the world safer. I mean, the Deliveroo thing, no one got hurt from that.
No.
But it's not great that any joker can open a restaurant with a microwave.
But
Yeah.
we never want to go too heavy. I think the Katie Hopkins thing was probably the heaviest we've done, but we didn't
It's
do
justified.
anything that heavy to her.
No. She done it herself.
Yeah, she did it
we gave her a
herself.
silly prize. That was literally it.
Yeah.
And 2 nights in a nice hotel in Prague.
Well, long may it continue because I think you have one of the best channels on YouTube, which I didn't think I would have been saying 3 years ago. So keep it up, boys. Thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Been great.
Can you leave us with one word? It can be very vague. One word that may sum up a video that will be coming in the future. So it's vague that no one will get it, but when the video drops, people may realise.
So, like,
I've got one.
Oh, he's going to write it down on his
You're going
phone.
to down first. Go for it.
Nice.
248. Oh, fuck, no, don't read out your code. What word are you looking for?
Oh, it's tense.
you write down your word and I write down mine.
Oh, they're both
Oh
doing
my
a word.
God.
They're
Should we
both
get
doing
2
a word.
words?
Yeah.
Say both. Just say them both.
If that one's obvious, that's even more obvious. No, I think. Wait, hang on. I think you do.
I like that he could have just said no. We need
We got
something.
massive egos.
Yeah.
I don't even understand that one.
Okay. Well, I'm
Well,
gonna
if
say
he
one.
does
say
that,
the
that'll be
top one.
fine.
Okay, we'll say you say the top one.
Okay, conversion.
That's the word.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Josh, Archie, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much for having us.
Thank you, Mr. Mate.
Go to youtube.com/Josh Pieters. There you go. Check it out. Stevie, thanks.
That's all right.
Jordan, thanks.
Pleasure.
This has been Jack Mate's Happy Hour, and we'll see you in a few days.
Thanks, guys.
Nice one.
Oh, that was fun.